Sabo D Fraud. He's a funny guy with an even funnier fanbase, and in today's video, we're putting him on fraud trial. What's up guys, Gamblrr here, and in today's video, you know I had to bring back the classic, the fraud videos. I've made two of these before and they were some of my favorite videos to make, so let's continue it on with Sabo. What does this guy even do? If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe. You'll get more videos and we'll both be happy. Sabo made his debut in chapter 583. He was this troublemaking kid alongside Ace who eventually warmed up to Luffy after his bold showcase of loyalty to them. But let's move past that. We're not here to slander a 10-year-old boy. I mean, even beyond his age, Sabo's character moved me, a runaway aristocrat that only seeked freedom. And even more, once he pursued that freedom, the Celestial Dragons took it away in an instant. This should have been it. The boy who flew too close to the sun got burned, and I and probably a ton of other people were satisfied with that. Not only did Ace and Luffy themselves get their own freedom, but we just saw the sad truth about piracy in general that no one realizes. Being a pirate is dangerous, and not anyone can just become one. That's what Sabo showed us. The boy was 10 trying to play pirate and immediately saw the consequences. So like I said, this was great. Until Dressrosa. In chapter 731, Luffy is needed outside of the Coliseum, and so very luckily, someone mysterious arrives and Luffy is able to leave in disguise. The mysterious man replaces Luffy in the tournament to get Ace's Devil Fruit, and to say the very least, he dominated the entire thing. Against bums who weren't even focused. When the mysterious man won the tournament and ate Ace's Devil Fruit, it was during the ruckus caused by Sugar's Devil Fruit being deactivated. Then we find out that it was none other than Sabo, the little kid who died over 100 chapters ago. Wow. What is this? You know who also died over 100 chapters ago? Luffy's big brother. And then we get Luffy's other big brother coming back to life, eating the same Devil Fruit as Luffy's big brother. I think you can see where this is going. This POS is Timu Ace, bootleg Ace, the worst Ace. There isn't a reason for this guy to be here other than to pose as an Ace replacement. And you know why I say that? Because after this arc, Luffy doesn't see the guy for the next 400 chapters. But let's not get into that just yet. Let's focus on what happens during this arc. Sabo is appointed a 300 million berry bounty by Doflamingo upon winning the Coliseum tournament, and he goes ghost until chapter 750. But when we see him again, he steps up to Fujitora himself, the strongest guy on the island. He clashes with him the next chapter and we don't see them for 6 chapters. And when we come back to 1, Sabo admitting Fujitora's not taking him seriously, and 2, Sabo being the only one with battle damage. And then Sabo gets off screen. In chapter 760, Fujitora walks off from their fight that he was clearly dominating and told him he'll make it seem like he couldn't get past Sabo. It's the wording that's got me laughing here because it's so important. All they'll see is that I couldn't get past ya. All I'll say is that this is the start of a certain trend for Sabo. Chapter 786, Luffy gasses out of Gear 4 and Burgess tries to attack him while he's down, but Sabo jumps in and stops Burgess in his tracks. They enter a fight, and again, Sabo does dominate, but why should I be impressed when we're talking about this fodder with no real feats? Before we continue going on, I want to note something. I actually like Sabo. I'm a big brother myself, and you guys should probably know by now that I like characters that have that brotherly feeling. Just wanted to point that out because now we're getting to the real stuff. The Reverie is a meeting between 50 world leaders all at Marijois. However, the current year's Reverie was one to really note because none other than the Revolutionary Army was there to wreak havoc. Before the Reverie, however, there was an incident that happened off screen that not a lot of people bring up when they're talking about Sabo. The fact that the Blackbeard pirates pulled up to the Revolutionary Army and made them switch bases. Mind you, this literally only happened because a certain someone failed to finish Burgess off, and so as a result, he was able to infiltrate their base and leak the location to the Blackbeard pirates. This is already just absolutely pathetic from our boy Timu Ace. Not only did you fail to finish off the fodder that I gave you credit for earlier, but you also cost your entire team their base. Now they're all stationed at New Kama Island, and that's where we find out that, again, this year's Reverie is going to be insane, because that is the year the revolutionaries plan to declare war on the Celestial Dragons. Fast forward to the Reverie, and Sabo disguises himself as one of the guards to enter Mary Joie. After seeing Kuma being ridden like a literal horse, Sabo vents his anger to his comrades, telling them that they either succeed in their mission or they die. This was a bold proposition, and we finally see the details of their mission in chapter 1083. Sabo's comrades wreak havoc outside of the main buildings. They cooked all the agents protecting the Celestial Dragons and even fought against Greenbow and Fujitora. Sabo ranking above them must mean Sabo's going to do even crazier things, so let's go over Sabo's stats during this mini arc. Sabo eavesdrops on Imu and Cobra's conversation, and it's said that as soon as Cobra saw Imu, his fate was sealed. He would have had to die right there and then. So Imu struck Cobra as soon as he uttered the name of the ancient Nefertari member, Nefertari D. Lily. Sabo, in reaction to this, immediately jumped into action. First, he shot a fire fist at Imu, which did nothing, but that's nothing to hold against him because it's Imu we're talking about. The 5 elders all square up, transforming into their devil fruit forms, and Imu is enraged as yet another person has seen him. Sabo has a short conversation with Cobra, but it's immediately interrupted by everyone chasing Sabo, and Sabo doesn't even succeed in that. He carried Cobra on his back and got stabbed by Imu, and then it went through him and then into Cobra. Then somehow Cobra gets up before Sabo can even recover and defend Sabo on the floor. Cobra has now endured 2 full Imu strikes, but he can save Sabo, who received 1. And so Sabo goes outside, sneaking into a boat en route to Lulusia Kingdom after being saved by a sick old man. That was Sabo's performance during the Reverie. I remember I used to call dude a marathon runner, but he's not even that. He literally failed in running away. If Cobra's not there, he's dead. The cherry on top is what comes out of this. The funniest thing I've ever seen in One Piece. Sabo comes out of the Reverie after being saved by Cobra, and the newspaper gives Sabo the credit for killing Cobra, and he's hailed as the Flame Emperor.
I'm just cold. 40-something release of the soul, I've been told. What is that?
It's usually a gag when Buggy gets high ranking positions in the One Piece world accidentally, but for some reason, we don't say the same for Mr. Old Manslayer Sabo. Sabo literally did nothing for his publicity, his status, or title. He literally almost died, and him surviving gave him all this clout. This is literally Buggy level fraudness, and I'm not even being ironic about it. But all of this by itself is fine, because again, I like Sabo. I will always mess with the big brother characters. The problem arises when you get into conversation about this old manslayer with other people. Let's get into it. If you didn't know, before we saw exactly what happened during the Reverie, there was an agenda called Sabo and a Few Good Men. The assumption was that Sabo went to the Reverie and beat the crap out of Fujitora and Greenbow. And this agenda was born because of what we saw of Fujitora after the Reverie. He was all hurt and bandaged up. This was obviously so stupid because no one is walking up to 2 admirals and manhandling them. But it obviously got debunked due to us literally finding out that Fujitora and Greenbow fought each other. And so even after this got debunked, there were still Sabo fans trying to find different things to pull on to keep their boy relevant. And so we enter phase 2 of the Sabo agenda, surviving Imu. Yes, this is literally the only character I've ever seen get gassed all the way to admiral level status because he survived something. Sabo couldn't outrun Imu, he couldn't endure a strike from Imu, I mean he literally passed out, and he couldn't even outlast a sick old man who took twice the damage he took. But because he survived, he's in top 20 talks. Because he survived, Sabo can take on any straw hat that isn't Luffy. Because he survived, Sabo can take on admirals.
With the W9 and the W2, how do I file the W9?
I don't think I need to say it. You should already understand what I'm getting at. This is ridiculous, and I'm tired of just sitting back watching people make these ridiculous claims. Sabo has nothing to put him over Queen, let alone Sanji. In fact, Sabo isn't even stronger than Ace. This is a genuine fight, and I actually might make this a video later on. Ace was fighting against Whitebeard and overpowering him on occasion. Ace also had slight future sight and power that eclipsed an entire island. Sabo has literally nothing close to these showings, and that's excluding the fact that Ace had Pirate King level potential. No, it doesn't matter that Sabo is Luffy's older brother. That doesn't mean he's comparable to Luffy in any way. Yes, Sabo has the potential to get even stronger, and yes, this video will age badly. Sabo is still important regardless of all this agenda stuff. But those 2 points do not go against anything I said in this video. The Sabo we see right now isn't stepping to any of the monster trio, let alone admirals or Yonko. Sabo is a glorified under old man level endurance marathon runner. He is gassed for literally surviving something. I hope this video opened your eyes to who the biggest fraud in One Piece is. Sabo the Runner.